comment period, individuals shall not engage in personal attacks, shall not impugn the motives of any speaker, and shall at all times, while in session, conduct themselves in an appropriate manner. No person shall make personal, impertinent, slanderous, or unauthorized remarks or become boisterous while addressing the council. I've read it a few times. So unfortunately, we have to read this. We didn't used to have to do that, but nowadays it's happened. So we'll have some council, the ones that are on the roster. Tracy Pierce, it's good to see you, and you're with the Star of Hope now, and I think that's who you're representing, correct?
Yes.
But you don't have to. You can speak on other things if you don't want.
No, that's what I'm going to speak on. I'm really short, so we're going to go like this. Okay. Good evening. My name is Tracy Pierce. I live in North Bend, and I work in Coos Bay as the Community Resource Manager for Star of Hope for 1 week. So, for more than 50 years, Star of Hope has been providing services and support to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities throughout Coos and Curry counties. Today, we operate 12 group homes, including 4 located in Coos Bay, as well as our day services activities. And with our new building, we'll be adding even more day service activities we're very excited about. We are growing. We're currently relocating from our Empire location to our new facility on 6th Street in Coos Bay. This new building will not only provide a modern, accessible space for our programs, but it will also allow us to increase the number of individuals we serve through our day program, expanding opportunities for community involvement, skill development, and meaningful activities. As one of the larger nonprofit employers, Star of Hope employs approximately 120 to 150 people and operates with an annual budget of more than $10 million. And those are dollars that stay right here in our local communities. As part of our new building project, we have launched our Adopt a Tree program. To meet City of Coos Bay landscaping requirements, we must plant trees based on the number of parking spaces at our new location. Community members and businesses can support this effort by sponsoring a tree. We offer 5 levels of sponsorship, providing a meaningful way to help beautify our campus while supporting our mission and expansion. I would also like to invite you to our upcoming Dancing with the Stars fundraiser on June 20th at the Hales Center for the Performing Arts. Our local stars have been selected and are already working hard to prepare an exciting evening of entertainment. Community members are encouraged to vote for their favorite star and join us at the event to support Star of Hope's programs and services. Thank you.
Thank you. So when's the new facility going to be open?
I would love to say middle of July.
Okay.
We're going to give them some grace because we're kind of pushing them along very quickly, so
All right.
hoping.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Good
Where-
seeing you.
Tracy,
Tracy.
on
Where
the
is-
on the Adopt a Tree program, is that on your
Yes.
website, that information?
It absolutely is, and if anybody would like to reach out to me personally, I have some brochures that they can look at as well.
Thank you.
Great.
And
Thank
then
you.
I also had a question. Where, again, is the new campus going to be?
The new campus is located at 1875 North 6th Street,
Right.
so right next to Northwest Natural.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. You just were thinking that because that's where you were before. All right. Robert Frost? Shrout? I'm sorry. I apologize. How are you this evening?
Fine.
Okay.
Okay, this is a medical report I'm going to read for the people of Coos Bay. Combined AD-AMTS 10 and AD-AMTS 117 inactivation exacerbates bone shortening and skin phenotypes. Abstract, Weil-Marchesani syndrome is characterized by severe short stature, joint contractures, tight skin, heart valve, and eye anomalies. WMS is caused by biallelic mutations in AD-AMTS10, AD-AMTS17, or LTBP2, or monoallelic mutations in FBN1. Because bone growth is driven by chondrocyte proliferation and hypertrophy in the growth plates, the genetics of WMS suggests that the affected extracellular matrix proteins contribute to chondrocyte and growth plate collagen 6. Primary ADAMTS10 and ADAMTS17 deficient skin fibroblasts, fibronectin deposition was impaired, concomitant with aberrant intracellular accumulation of fibrinogen 1. Oh, that was tough. I have to give that up. It's a little bit too tough for me, surgery and everything.
Great, thank you. Steve Snyderman.
Thank you, Mayor Benetti, councilors, and guests. My name is Steve Schneiderman. I'm a lifetime resident of Coos Bay, and I also work in Coos Bay. And this is kind of a repeat of a public comment from a year ago. I served the city of Coos Bay as a volunteer firefighter for 25 years. I served as a president of the Coos Bay Volunteer Firefighters Association, and I served 2 terms as president of the Oregon Volunteer Firefighters Association, and so I am still a life member of both organizations. And last year about this time, I talked to you about the homeless situation, specifically around the Coos Bay Firefighters Memorial. And last week, there was a couple of gentlemen that spent 5 days and 5 nights at that site. And I took pictures just today that I'd like to give you. As you can see in the pictures, the top picture is, of course, from a distance, but the 2 gentlemen sitting back there and all their stuff on top of the monument, a razor, beer cap, cigarettes, and yes, human waste in toilet paper. And that is just so unacceptable for that sacred ground. When we spoke a year ago, one of the suggestions that you were going to look at was making that private property. Not a lawyer, didn't play one on TV, don't know what it takes to do that, but if possible, I would suggest that the city lease that area to an organization, maybe the Coos Bay Volunteer Firefighters Association, maybe the Coos Bay Downtown Association, but somebody, so it can become private property and more enforceable for this type of activity. I'm here tonight representing myself, but I'm also a representative of the Carpenter family and the Randy Carpenter Memorial Foundation. They're aware that I'm speaking tonight, and I know that your policy is to not engage in conversation on public comment, but that kind of was thrown out the door last month on the Home Depot issue, and I would entertain any comments, feelings, questions about this.
Well, I think it's at the discretion of the council. We've been a little lax in, but we have a policy tonight that allows us to have interaction and discussion. So that being the case, I don't know if anyone wants to go first, but is this something that we can do, Nicole, or look into? How about the Memorial Foundation taking it on also instead of, I don't know how we can get there and take care of it. But even if, so anyway, I don't know if it's possible.
So we can certainly ask Nate, which is probably where we were last year, and just we don't have a resolution to that. I guess the other question, and I think we probably talked about this in the meeting, but does in fact private ownership impact our ability to, police regulate it differently? And the other thing I would say, if we are to lease it, we would want to be mindful about who that ownership goes to, because it could create a tax situation. If we lease public property to a private individual or corporation who is taxable, they'd have to pay property taxes on that.
So my question is, to staff, is there some reason that we're allowing, I understand it's public property, but we have control of our park areas in that it says you cannot be in there after hours, which might alleviate some of the excrement problems that we're having because there's nothing available. But you can't access the cemetery by the high school without going through a gate, and we certainly wouldn't want this gated, but, I mean, there are options that we have in other parks, so why does that not apply here?
I'm not sure that this is designated as a park.
Maybe we should designate it a memorial park?
Could be that. I guess the other thing, I mean, if we knew 5 days, 5 nights, like we have a number to call. Like the fact that it went more than that is concerning, both on our part and anyone who saw that. I think we'd want to know that day one, right?
Yeah, but I wanted to monitor. I was hoping that, you know, on night one, I was just hoping it was a one-off, and then I
Yeah,
decided to
and then,
see how long it did last.
Yeah, and not to say that that's your obligation, but if we do have concerns, then we want to address them when
Right.
they're, you know, timely, when it's happening, so. And I don't know at the time, like, what was happening that, I mean, because we can kind of see that space from
But
many
I-
of our
and
offices here.
I know that our police department is busy with more pressing matters, but on my way to work quite often, I do see foot patrols around the library property.
Well, yeah, but that's security that they hire themselves, right?
Yeah, the library has their
So
own
they hire-
security.
no,
And I
it's
know
library.
No, I
our,
see Coos Bay police officers.
Well, they drive around there, but they have their own security, Steve.
Okay, I understand,
All right,
but I see Coos Bay police officers walking around there too.
okay.
So,
Well,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
just-
But, you know, it's probably on their, I mean, if you would have
But-
called them, I believe, the captain
Right.
can respond to this, that if
But-
you would have called them and said, hey, there's a problem there, they probably would have kept an eye on it. I know our resource officer, if there's an issue with a problem, like we had on the waterfront, some people were drinking, homeless, he was there and took care of it, and then he banned them for a certain amount of time. I think they need to know about it, but I don't want to speak for you, go ahead.
Yes, I would agree absolutely. If you call us, like, we will absolutely come down there. I can see actually the memorial from my window in my office, so I frequently on daytime hours, like if I hear noise or people yelling, I'm instantly down there. It's my understanding, based on the code, that the Fireman's Memorial does fall within the Parks Plan, so it gives us a lot of kind of authority from the police department standpoint to be able to take action. If people are smoking, drinking, or camping in there, they can instantly be excluded from that property for 30 days on the first occurrence. And so, like, I have really been directing our patrol staff to make that, along with other public places around the city, a priority for our enforcement. And I know our guys have been down there a lot, but, you know, we're limited. So
Yeah,
anytime
no.
a citizen wants to call and help us out, like, we appreciate the force multiplier when it comes to that. And obviously, I haven't seen the pictures, so I don't know exactly who you're talking about, though I probably am familiar. We're really making an intentional effort to be around the downtown area and be in contact with folks and really address and curb this type of behavior, because I couldn't agree with you more about, you know, what this memorial stands for and how it should be treated amongst the people that reside in our community and visit our community. So it is certainly a priority for the police department, and though I understand the private property, there's a lot of enforcement authority that the city has right now being under public property and the way it's kind of set up through our code, so.
Yeah, and I'm extra passionate about this because we were a 4-person Indian company that responded, and I'm the only one of that company that's alive, and it just is extra special to me.
Yes.
Sure. So, so would it matter if it's public or private? I mean, if this is a park or public, or would it change the oversight on this or anything?
Just in my opinion, I think the way we have it set up right now under public property, it gives the police department a lot of authority to take action just on behalf of the city of Coos Bay. If it transfers ownership and becomes private property, now I have to have the private property owner involved in the criminal justice enforcement process, where I couldn't just arbitrarily take action on my own, right? Similar, if it was your business, I need you, the business owner, involved. It would kind of fall under that same thing. There's also some state laws that prevent, like, abuse of a venerated object, and so it's actually a C misdemeanor, I think, through state law, and I personally have arrested people for literally desecrating this memorial, and so it gives us some authority under state law, just under its current context, to take, like, criminal action against folks doing this type of activity.
So if it were private property, then that would have to be processed through the criminal justice system. The property owner would have to,
Correct, essentially be the
Make a-
victim of whatever criminal activity
Right.
may have occurred there, correct.
okay.
And it sounds like from the explanation we just got, there's more latitude or availability for the police to take care of this under the scenario that it's at. So, with that being said, I think, unless you disagree, that we should leave it the way it is, inform the police when you see a problem, and obviously this will come to their attention now, and I'm sure they'll be on top of it. That's my thought.
I have a question. So what I thought I heard you say is, with the policy, if we see defecation, smoking, or drinking, that can be an instant 30-day ban, is that correct?
Correct. Really, it's any sort of criminal law violation. So if they're, say, using drugs or doing other activities there, if they're camping there, because it's a park, they're not allowed to camp there, similar to the boardwalk, John Toppet's Park, Mingus Park. It all falls kind of within the park plan. And so there's never any camping allowed in any city park. And so, like, anytime that activity is going on, it's easy for us to take enforcement action if there's a blatant city code violation. During the daytime, yes, they can sit on the bench, yes, they can sit there, so long as they're following the rules set forth by the municipal code. Even after hours, I'd have to read if this one has hours restricting access. I think all of our parks do at 10 p.m. They all restrict them unless they're designated otherwise, dusk till dawn. And so if our officers aren't familiar with that, I can help train them up on that. But I truly think we've been making a lot of enforcement efforts around a lot of our public spaces. And I'll just remind them that this one needs to be on the,
Just
it's close
for-
to home, so it's easy for us to get to.
Just for patrol's sake, like on a drive-by, they position themselves between the Maltese cross and the wall, so you can't see them
That's,
unless you get out of your vehicle.
Frankly speaking, there's electrical outlets back there, which is why they're there.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thanks. So on the electrical outlets, should we not have them there? Is there a reason to have the electrical outlets there? Do we need them?
Well,
We do?
We have had events there where you
yeah.
wanted sound, but whether or not they're locked, if we can
Locked.
lock them, put some devices on there to lock them.
It was, the electrical was put in, when it was built, and
You have to come back up, Steve.
like now we have battery-operated leaf blowers and stuff, but before, you plugged in with an extension cord to blow the leaves off the area and stuff. And yeah, for special events, we've had speakers set up. Yeah.
All right. Chief, did you want to add anything, Atkins?
No, I was just gonna say, if it's not locked, then we can work on getting it locked.
Okay.
There's no real reason we need that for anything,
All right,
for our
great.
minutes.
All right.
And-
Anything else?
And I want to say, if people see that activity after hours, we have a pretty easy, non-emergent line. I know that it feels like you're calling a lot because I know you have called a lot, but equally as much, our law enforcement are there a lot as well. And so, it's just do our part, make a phone call. I know it feels like we shouldn't have to, or like it's too much and you don't want to be a bother, but do it. And it's not just you, Steve. Community members should as well.
All right. Are there any other public comments? Even if you didn't sign up, you're more than welcome to come up and make a comment if you'd like. Anyone? All right. I'll close the public comments and we'll go to the consent calendar. And council, how would you like to proceed on the consent calendar?
I move we approve the consent calendar.
Second?
I have a question. So if I read this correctly, this grant we're applying for has a 40% match by the city. So how much are we applying for? And so what would our grant percentage be? Or do we have that information?
I don't have that, just a sec. I don't have that staff report opened up.
And the grant you're referring to, Mayor
It's under the
Benetti,
consent
is?
calendar. It's for the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department Local Government Grant Program for the Mingus Park Inclusive Playground Revitalization Project.
And I know we are applying to grants for that match piece, so we would not have to cover that full, but.
Potentially we'd have to, but hopefully not.
Yeah.
And generally on that, can we use any staff time that's involved with that?
Yes, in
for-
kind,
Okay.
yeah. Gosh darn it, keep this typing.
Never fails, huh?
I know, dang password.
Oh, don't talk to me
Yeah.
about passwords.
Exactly.
I'm a 3 times a charmer.
Yeah, that might have been my story too.
Nicole, while you're bringing that up, I'll just say that the South Coast Regional Early Learning Hub that is under the Southwestern Oregon Workforce Investment Board does have some grants open and available. So I'll send you that information so that we can make sure to meet that match requirement.
Yeah, great, thank you. So this is. Yeah, it doesn't say that. So that is a great question. We'll certainly have to
Yeah,
ask.
it wasn't in this report. I did look, so that's why I was asking. Okay, so
Yeah.
you'll let us
We'll
know.
have to ask. Yeah,
Okay,
we'll-
all right. With that being any other questions on the consent calendar, anyone? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Thank you. Consideration to approve Pride Month proclamation. Nicole, you want to give us a,
Yes, thank you. I'm prepared for this one.
okay.
June is recognized as Pride Month, providing an opportunity to acknowledge and support members of the LGBTQIA2S+ community while reaffirming the City of Coos Bay's commitment to fostering a welcoming and respectful community for all residents and visitors. This has Pride Month has long origins back to events that occurred originally in June of 1969. And the City of Coos Bay has been recognizing Pride Month for several years. Again, just to make sure that we're recognizing the folks that live here with us as part of community and their support of our activities. I mean, all the things they add to the richness of our community. So I don't know if.
So does one of the councilors want to read the proclamation, or do you want Nicole to read it? It's open.
I'm happy to, if there's
Okay.
not a. Okay. Okay, so the proclamation. Whereas the month of June was designated Pride Month to commemorate the Stonewall Inn incident, which occurred in June 1969, and is generally recognized as the catalyst of the LGBTQ+ rights movement. And whereas the strength of our community lies in our shared values of respect, compassion, and neighborliness. And whereas residents of all backgrounds, including those who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, contribute to the social, cultural, economic life of our town. And whereas our community strives to be a place where families feel supported, young people are encouraged to be themselves, and all citizens are respected for who they are. And whereas acknowledging Pride Month affirms our commitment to the civility, mutual understanding, and the well-being of all members of our community.
Now therefore, I, Joe Benetti, the mayor of the city of Coos Bay, do hereby proclaim the month of June 2026 as Pride Month in the city of Coos Bay, and encourage all residents to uphold the value of kindness, inclusion, and community spirit throughout the month and beyond. That being the case, I need a motion and a second, please, to adopt this.
I'll move to approve the proclamation designating June 2026 as Pride Month.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Pride Month proclamation. Is there any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. And Carmen Matthews, Councilor Matthews, and Councilor Cribbins are both with us now. Sorry I didn't recognize you earlier. Let's see. Consideration to adopt Resolution 26-14 authorizing participation, in the medical expenses reimbursement plan for certain non-represented fire employees. Chief Atkins.
Good evening. A couple months ago, you approved the successor collective bargaining agreement between the City of Coos Bay and IFF 2935. With that agreement, we included MERP, a medical expense reimbursement program that allows for firefighters, once they retire, to use those funds to help pay for eligible retirement expenses, whether it's insurance premiums or other medical expenses. With that MERP, the way it was set up, it was only for current IAFF members. So for any members who promoted out, such as our battalion chiefs promoting out of the union, they would not be eligible. So the resolution allows us to continue to make those contributions after they've promoted out, before they retire into the program.
So would this also go into effect for the ones that have already retired or not? Just the ones that are in and then going out and retiring?
Yeah, just for current IFF members, so anyone that's already promoted out, myself or the 3 battalion chiefs we currently have are ineligible for the MERT program. So it'd just be anyone that is currently an IFF member that later on would promote out.
Well, I'm glad we're doing this. I think it's something that's important, so thanks. Well, I hope we do it. So with that being the case, you have any questions for the chief? Hearing that,
I do have a question. I just want to make sure, this was part of the collective bargaining agreement, right? So that is why we're moving forward, is as part of that agreement? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no more questions, if you agree, I need a motion to adopt this resolution.
I move we approve the resolution authorizing employee and city contributions to the IAFF Medical Expense Reimbursement Plan for eligible fire department employees.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution 26-14. Any other discussion, comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Next item on the agenda is consideration to adopt the public comment policy. Nicole?
Yes, thank you. Staff has prepared this draft public comment policy for your review and adoption here tonight. The goal with this was to establish some written procedures around things we are already actively using in the meeting regarding how we both receive and manage public comment. This gives some procedures for particular situations, such as in-person, written, and virtual comment, as well as expectations for the speakers providing that comment, and then how we manage those written, those comments afterwards. We did present this at the work session and had some discussion around that. From that discussion, we've made some modifications both to our website and what's included in the packet to hopefully make it a little bit easier for folks to interact with public comments, not just here in person. So we are asking to potentially review and discuss and hopefully adopt this policy, which will give us some tools to work with.
Yeah, so we never have had a policy before. We just have had council rules that we have been following.
Correct.
But the council rules will still be in place, and then we'll have an actual policy also.
Yes.
Is there any other comments or discussion on this, anyone? No questions? Would someone like to make a motion to adopt, please?
I'll make a motion to adopt the public comment policy.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the public comment policy. Any other comments? Silent group tonight, quiet group. With that being the case, I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing that it passes. All right, city manager's report.
Okay, so the first thing unplanned I'm going to start with is I remembered we have a grant tracking form that's saved on our network. So the local government grant program, we are asking for a $343,464 grant, making the 40% match $228,977. So we will still be working towards meeting that $228,000 match goal. And then the last, I didn't prepare many items here tonight. I've been wearing a couple hats, having just recently bought a house in Coos Bay. We're doing some remodeling to it, so kind of trying to split time a little bit. But I did want to, I'm sure most everyone here knows, but more of a public kind of thing, that elections will open up for many communities, and ours opens tomorrow. There's a process by which, if you have interest in getting on the ballot, you can stop in City Hall, and there's a process either to collect signatures or complete a form and pay a fee to be part of that process. So that's what I have for tonight.
Okay.
Nicole, I had a few questions. I know in our last, I think, council meeting, there was a conversation about railing, and we agreed on the boardwalk, and we agreed going forward we were going to have a plan that would be presented with and we all agreed to that. And then I don't think the public knows that what we learned, we had railing purchased, and what we learned was that there is a federal requirement that we have to have some sort of railing placed there. And so I just wanted to make sure that the public knew that the reason, even though we had an engaged conversation about things that we would do moving forward, in the interim, that railing had to go up as a federal requirement because we're next to a railroad. Is that correct?
That's correct. So not just the federal requirement, but we actually lease that because of the adjacency to the rail. That's a leased area that the city leases from historically Southern Pacific, but now currently the International Port of Coos Bay is the owner of that. So it's both in our lease agreement, but it's enforceable by the federal rail agency, I think is
Yeah,
their-
but if I understood correctly, you checked with the port director, the executive director, and she made sure.
Yes, she
So
confirmed.
it's a federal regulation. It's not that the port is asking us to do that. It's a
Agreed.
federal. Okay.
Agreed.
Right.
But we'd want to acknowledge that relationship between
I
the two
understand, but I mean, I
entities.
think.
But yes,
Yeah, I
the
mean, so they're not asking-
enforcement
Right, okay.
would come from a higher level. So, and because we already had that railing, that's the choice that was made in the interim. So,
Perfect.
put that railing
I
in.
just wanted to make sure that the public knew
Absolutely.
that. The second question I have in regards to the boardwalk is, we had talked about moving forward with a contract to manage the grounds there. And so, given that it is June 2nd today, I wondered when we would expect to see the flowers and the weed whacking and all of those things done by that contracted company.
Yeah, so we are right now working on a scope of work because we want to be really thoughtful around when we want those, that work to be done. Like, for example, we don't want it to be done on a Monday weekly because by the weekend, that could be a different situation. And then a few other details that we want to be really specific about. Stuff's working on that as we speak right now. And in the interim, we'll be performing as much of that as they can and or getting someone out to do some power washing that doesn't require a contractual obligation. So.
Great. So with that said, the question I would have for you is, I'm usually the one who is all about fullness of time, but it is June 2nd and the tourists are here. And I know that the staff does everything they can to try to keep that boardwalk looking tidy. Unfortunately, as we talked about at the last council meeting, we just don't have enough team members. So when would we expect to see that, that complete and that contract in place so we're not burdening our employees and having it contracted as this council requested it to be?
Yeah, and I can appreciate that request. We have public procurement rules.
Totally
So we
hear
have
you.
timelines associated with that.
I'm just asking the
So,
question.
yep, absolutely. I'm not sure exactly where we are with our scope creation and,
Yes, the scope should be completed sometime this week or very early next week. We'll have to advertise that, get that out for a minimum of 2 weeks. We can also do some phone calls and try to let them know that that's out there and that opportunity is out there for them to submit a quote on. But again, in the interim, we are trying to hire some pressure washers, some minor landscaping, just to facilitate our staff in the interim and keep it at a price point that doesn't require public procurement where we can direct a point.
Okay.
And
Thank you very
also,
much.
wasn't that something that was budgeted in the next fiscal year? So, yeah, I mean, I understand.
Well, that's July 1, it's June 2nd, by the time we
And
get
it's
this
gonna be
done.
real
I
close.
understand that, I'm
Yeah.
just saying that it sounds like they're on course to have that done, but that was financially allocated for the next fiscal year. So we're having to,
Yeah,
I'm just
but-
trying to make sure we stay on point, Stephanie. So that's the reason I'm asking, and I don't want to burden the staff further with having to do that. And I don't want us to get to a place where we're looking at, the season has already passed and we haven't gotten to that project.
yeah, fair.
does it, yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds like they're on.
yeah, just to follow up, I mean, we have tourist dollars that we can use in the interim, if necessary, to clean this up. And I know the staff did it, but here's an example. I don't know when you did it, 2 weeks ago? If you go back down there today, because of the pigeons, unless we have a way to control that, it's already a mess. I mean, so it's unfortunate that that's really creating the problem, the majority of it. And I
Agreed.
don't
I
know
was
what,
just
and I don't know
out
what
there
to do
today.
about it, so.
And that's one of the reasons why we do want to make sure we are looking at the scope thoughtfully
Yeah.
and making sure that we put conditions in the scope of work that say, you shall perform this maintenance on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Not on a Monday or Tuesday,
Right.
because we all know what happens.
Okay, good. Well, at least we're on it. That's good.
And then just to add a little bit, we are doing a little bit of research around what to do with pigeons.
I hope so.
So-
You know, I don't understand, I don't know why, but I mean, for instance, if
Look
I,
at Rob.
if I'm down there,
He knows
for
how to
instance, around the Coquel Casino Resort, there's some pigeons, but it's nothing compared to what we have. I mean, we got hundreds down there. So I don't know what the deal is.
Well, I mean,
They think
they've-
it's their home, that's why.
Maybe.
Yeah,
They've been
they've
in
had
there for a long
decades,
time.
right,
Yeah.
to claim the space. We got to figure out how we encourage them to find a new space to claim.
I'm still gonna look into those falconers that.
That's on the list.
Okay.
We're making some.
I know
yeah.
Portland did that. When we're up there for this weekend with the parade with the mayor, we can ask. How's that?
Okay.
All right.
Fair.
I'm wondering if there isn't some sound also that they don't like,
I don't
that
know.
we might be able to just
I
play
don't know,
something.
anything.
We've
that
tried lights. Yeah, I mean, we've had sound down
know
there.
there's been-
Maybe it's not the sound that's
No, that's
offensive, but yeah,
maybe a decibel that they,
yeah.
you know? John might know.
All right.
Maybe we put an ask out to the community, how best to.
Yes, that would be
How do you get
fine.
rid of
Yeah.
pigeons? Huh? Oh, yeah,
Should-
be nice.
We're aware of many ways in which we probably should not address the pigeons, but.
So, anything else, Nicole? All right, council comments. Sarah, let's start with you since you're on vacation and we're so kind to come in. and-
Thanks, team. Nothing from me tonight.
Okay, thank you. Troy,
No comments for me tonight either.
all right. Carmen?
Boy, we got a quiet council this week. I really don't have much either. I'm just excited to see that boardwalk get cleaned up as well. And if there is a way that someone could volunteer to do a little bit of weed whacking, or if we had a punch list that a private citizen would be able to do and help in some way, I would be happy to spend a few hours down there myself. So I know it's going to take a lot more than that, but if there's something I can do in the meantime, I've got my work pants on. I can go and weed whack or do something, plan a few things. So staff, if there's a way that you could find volunteer hours for that, I'd be interested. And that's my comments.
Thanks, Carmen. Appreciate that. Lucinda?
No comments.
Stephanie?
Wow, look at all that time I have. No, just kidding. Just wanted to give an update from the Coos Bay Downtown Association. They are going strong with the farmers market, and we've been hearing good things about that on Wednesdays. That is in full swing. Also, I understand that the July 4th press release has or is going out, so they're already, I cannot believe that it's summertime already, which then, of course, triggers all the activity around moving forward with the summer festival season. And there's a lot of work that's being done by the committee, the promotions committee for the Downtown Association to get prepared for that. They are way ahead of schedule that it's ever been, so I'm glad to see that. And then I wanted to give the council an update on the process for filling the position for the manager. That is moving forward. A subcommittee is finalizing the job description, and for some reason I cannot remember the actual title that will be, but it should be going out and done and filled within the next by the end of July.
Was that a Main Street manager, Stephanie? Was that the title?
I believe it's a Main Street director.
Okay.
Is how they're going to title that.
Okay.
It's actually the Coos Bay, no, it's Coos Bay Downtown Director.
Okay, thank you.
So they felt that they felt that encompassed more than just the Main Street, but the Front Street as well.
Sarah?
Council, could you send that to us when it's available?
Absolutely.
Okay, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, so I only have one item. So I got a voice message and an email about a home peace run that's on June 18th. It's they bring the torch in, and last time they did this, I was here to meet them. I'm not able to on the 18th, so if there's anyone in the council who would like to do it, please let me know, and I'll give them the information. those are the end of my comments. And so I want to
Does
thank
it
everyone for.
require running? It doesn't require running, does it?
No, no. They bring the torch, no, you don't have to run. If you want to, if you want, I guess we could get that involved. But anyway.
Because
So-
the only thing that gets me running is somebody is chasing me. Sorry.
Anyway, that's the end of my comments, and that's the end of the council meeting. I will adjourn the council meeting, but we do